Mr. Blascak.
Thank you. Mario Blascak, World is Dispress Online. Mr. President, you mentioned in your introductory statement that the growth outlook for Eurozone remains broadly unchanged, and so far Eurozone economy has been very resilient to external shocks, especially from the downturn or fear of downturn from Asia in the beginning of this year. So my question is, to what extent is that the factor of the lower real exchange rate of euro and other measures, if you can comment on that? And my second question goes to the recently published credit lending survey that has been very optimistic, with more than 30% demand rise for credit in the Eurozone, while the hard data point to 0.9% rise in loans to non-financial corporations. So I would like you to comment on the difference in the extremely positive demand rise and the barely rising hard data. Thank you.
Thank you. Growth continues to be moderate but steady. It's mostly supported by consumption and investment, and now investment, and it's dampened by the external component. Our monetary policy measures have been supporting growth, and I should say, with the rare exceptions, our monetary policy has been the only policy in the last 4 years to support growth. And so it will continue to do so. But clearly, as I said many, many times, not only monetary policy is a necessary condition for returning to structural, long-term, sustainable growth. But then you have to have other conditions. First and foremost is structural reforms. And that's why the introductory statement today receives this renewed emphasis on structural reforms, which, by the way, was highlighted in the last IMF meetings as well. And the third, what the IMF called the three-pronged approach. The third condition to be in place is an appropriate fiscal policy, where we observed that for the euro area, the current fiscal policy is likely expansionary. But again, the issue here is not only a question of size, but for many countries, if not most countries in the euro area, the issue is a question of composition. A composition that is being called here growth-friendly, namely a composition with lower taxes, lower current government expenditure, and more public investment. This is the answer to your first question. The second question, really, I would say the bank lending survey shows that credit continues. It's pretty solid. It started it went up without interruption since the second quarter of 2014. The number of rejections rate went down considerably, and it's been going down steadily. That's also even more important, the continuation of this process. And so, together with the dramatic fall in rates and an increase in volumes, this shows that our measures are indeed quite effective. When we come to, we also asked, there was an ad hoc question in the bank lending survey where we asked what use you're going to make of the APP, the Asset Purchase Program proceeds. And the banks answered that they use mainly for granting loans, which is good evidence that the asset purchase, or the QE, as it is otherwise called, is being transmitted to the real economy. But they also added that they are using the consequence of the APP for them is more to adjust price and terms of the lending more than volumes as such. And also they answered about profitability, which is going up because of capital gains, and funding costs that went down. So these were the answers to the bank lending survey that portrayed a credit sector that is strengthening and it's contributing to higher growth and to the return to price stability.